Hey everyone, welcome to my first impression video for the non-Ethiopia portion of the Ethiopia pack. So this looks pretty awesome. I gotta say, this is probably, I think it's gonna be one of my favorite updates so far. Mainly because of the secret societies. I really like that idea. I like how impactful they're gonna be. So let's just go ahead and watch this video through. I'll pause it and I'll comment as we go. And feel free, please share your thoughts on it as well. I may have missed something, so bring that to my attention. I want to understand it as good as I can, and I want to hear from you guys too. So comment and let me know what you think about it. So let's get this going.
Those of you who've purchased the New Frontier Pass, this update will also include our new leader persona.
Okay, so we have a new Teddy Roosevelt and a new Catherine Medici.
An interesting historical figure, because on the one hand, he had an interesting definition of diplomacy, given his big stick philosophy. But on the other hand, he's also a staunch conservationist.
Rough Rider Teddy shows him in all of his hard-charging New Frontier glory, and it's only this version of Teddy that unlocks the unique Rough Rider unit.
So a new unit, the new Rough Rider unit. I think that's awesome. I think it goes with Teddy Roosevelt really well. So this unit is unlocked with rifling. Let me put this back a little bit so we can. So it's unlocked with rifling. You get culture from kills on your home continent, and then plus 10 combat on hills, and then lower maintenance than a. I'm gonna assume this must be like a cavalry replacement or something like that. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good unit. I like the plus 10 combat on hills. I mean, that is pretty nice. That's a pretty good unit. It's a little late in the game, industrial era, so I don't know how good this is gonna be, but maybe if you rush the unit and you have strong science, maybe you could make use of this. But otherwise, I'm not super excited about it. Although I do think it's a good unit for the time for the boost plus 10 combat on hills. And then we have a change to the Roosevelt corollary ability. Envoys sent to city-states that you have a trade route to count as 2. So that's pretty good. It's not, I don't think it's very powerful, probably, but it's going to help you get maybe 1 or 2 more suzerain statuses. So not too bad, but nothing too incredible there, from what I can tell.
Unique Rough Rider unit. His ability, the Roosevelt Corollary, still gives units additional combat strength on their home continent, but now also counts envoys sent to city-states that you have a trade route with as 2 envoys. Bull Moose Teddy uses Teddy's existing art and focuses on his passion for nature and high appeal tiles.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So
Meanwhile, our
all right,
alternate unit
cool. So now we have
focuses on
Catherine
collecting
Medici.
as many copies of luxury resources as possible, and allows her to initiate the court festival project in any.
Okay, so let's look at this here. Improved luxury resources adjacent to theater square districts or chateau receive plus 2 culture. That's pretty nice. So I think I'm going to be trying to put my theater squares and chateaus near luxuries. It'll be really interesting to plan districts with this and plan wonders and chateaus. I think you could really plan this out and get some really nice high culture tiles. I don't know exactly how powerful this could. This part of me thinks this could be really, really powerful, and then the other part kind of thinks, it might just be good. But I do like this ability. This looks pretty nice. Plus 2 culture is pretty good. Yeah. So theater squares come. You could get theater squares up if you rush them. You could probably get them like turn 70, turn 80. Which is still fairly early in the game, and you could really benefit from extra culture there. Chateau they're gonna come later, so I think the mid game. This will mainly kick in the mid game, so pretty good. might be incredible. It might just be good. We'll see.
City with a theater square, which awards culture and tourism based on the number of excess copies of the luxury resources that France possesses.
Now,
Okay, so they get this new project here. May initiate the court festival project in any city with a theater square district. So that's interesting. And then they said that it sounded like they said the strength of this project depends on how many excess luxuries you have. So that's cool. I like. Usually in my games I have excess luxuries, so it'll be interesting to see how powerful this is. It's kind of hard to tell at this point, but it does sound promising.
That France possesses.
now the big themes of DLC 2 are faith, diplomacy, and intrigue.
Okay,
The centerpiece
this
of
will
the
be.
pack is of course our new civilization, Ethiopia. Its unique ability grants extra faith from international trade routes and gives you new things to do with that faith.
So
to
we
help
talked about
inflame a
Ethiopia
culture.
in another video. You can just check that
Ethiopia's
out.
First look later this month, so stay tuned for all the details on that civilization and their leader.
This pack introduces a new district, the Diplomatic Quarter. This is your
Diplomatic
hub
district. That's interesting. Wow. So now it's sort of like a government plaza. You can only build one of these in your empire.
for foreign policy and international relations.
Mechanically, the diplomatic quarter grants additional culture for each delegation or
Okay, interesting. So the diplomatic culture, the diplomatic quarter, they said it grants culture for sending.
embassy from a foreign civ. It
So
grants
sending
additional culture
delegations.
for each delegation or embassy from a foreign civ. It also reduces the level of
Your hub for foreign policy and international relations.
Mechanically, the diplomatic quarter grants additional culture for each delegation or embassy from a foreign
Wow.
civ.
Okay,
Also,
so it's kind of hard to tell how much additional culture you get from this. I can't really tell from looking at this, but that does sound cool. So somebody who has peaceful relations with other civs might have a little bit of an advantage for generating culture. I can't really see how much it's going to be, but that does sound cool. And then we'll just read through this here. Your civilization receives +1 diplomatic favor for each delegation or embassy from a foreign civilization through diplomacy. I mean, favor, in my opinion, isn't extremely important, but it doesn't hurt to have this. +1 envoy if built next to the city center. That's good, so you get an envoy. Enemy spies operate at 2 levels below normal, targeting this district and adjacent districts. Only one can exist in your empire at a time. Yeah, okay, so nothing. I don't see anything super powerful here, besides maybe the culture. I don't know what the culture is going to be like. Let me know if you guys have more insight into that, but it doesn't seem too powerful from what I can tell, but it does look nice.
reduces the
I
level
might be
of
missing
enemy
something.
spies targeting that district and adjacent districts. It's so powerful, you can only have one in your civilization at a time.
So yeah, she said it's very powerful. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe we don't have all the info on that yet. But you can do a consulate and a chancery in it. The consulate is I guess the tier 1 building, and then the chancery is the tier 2.
Consulate provides additional influence points every turn and reduces the level of enemy spies when they target that city.
Okay, so +2 influence points per turn. Enemy spies level is reduced by 1 when targeting this city or cities with encampments. Yeah, that's interesting. So this thing is like tied to encampments in an interesting way. +4 gold, +4 science, +2 faith. I wish we knew when this could come into play. I mean, those are how good these yields are depends on how early you can get this. So I don't know where this is unlocked, but if it's early, it could be pretty good. I mean, 4 gold, 4 science, and 2 faith for a fairly cheap building is, I mean, comparing this price to what you get, I think it's definitely worth it. It's a good investment. It's just not a huge investment from what I can tell.
Or cities with encampments.
Meanwhile, the Chancery will grant additional science each time your civilization captures or kills an enemy spy.
Okay, so this is the next building up. the Chancery, +3 influence points per turn. When the civilization captures or kills an enemy spy, receive 50 science for every level of the enemy spy, and then +3 faith. Again, I don't know exactly where this kicks in or what unlocks it. But at first glance, I mean, 50 science for each level of enemy spy that you capture or kill. I mean, I only capture or kill, I think, just maybe several enemy spies in a game. It's usually in the mid to late game almost. Like turn 150, maybe turn 120. In which case this probably wouldn't be super powerful. A little bit of faith. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Maybe, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't look extremely powerful from what I can see.
To prevent envoys from becoming too powerful, envoy bonuses are now directly tied to these two buildings as well.
Finally, for players with Gathering Storm, Arise, and Fall, the Ethiopia pack also introduces secret societies.
Consider your options
Yes.
carefully because there's no takebacks and there's no do-overs. There's no do-overs. Once your membership is confirmed, you're a member for life. I mean, for the rest of the game. You'll be fine.
Secret societies.
All right, cool. So this looks interesting. This is the part I'm most excited about for sure. So these secret societies, there's 4 different societies, and each one has its own governor. And when you unlock the ability to recruit one of these governors by doing certain things. So in this case, for the Hermetic Order, you unlock that one by discovering a natural wonder. So that's good. So these things come into play probably as soon as the Ancient Era. So that's really cool how it basically extends throughout the whole game. Let's see. So you have discovered a mysterious society called the Hermetic Order and earned 1 governor title. So you get a governor title when you fulfill the requirements for the whatever society you're going to join. A wandering mystic appears at your palace. His body is covered in writing of a kind that you've never seen before. The symbols even seem to shine of their own accord. He begins to lecture your courtiers about the hidden alchemical properties of matter, about how mercury can be induced to flow towards the sound of birdsong, how elemental sulfur can be rendered out of sacred texts, and about the hidden resonance of certain stones in moonlight. He asks you, do you too seek to know the true nature of things? Yeah, okay, so these guys, so there's 4 different ones. They each kind of take you on a different path. So let's check this out
here. With your initiation comes a special governor with 4 unique promotions.
Now they all have the same 4 promotion titles, but each governor's titles do different things.
These governors operate in worldwide networks and thus have no need to be assigned to a specific city.
We'll look at this one. There's another screen coming up where they show the tier 3 boost as well, so
Promotion effects offered by secret society governors apply to your whole civ.
But who are these societies that you're signing up for?
The Owls of Minerva are puppeteers who mastermind plots behind the scenes and use espionage to achieve their goals.
Okay, so the Owls of Minerva, we'll talk about them for a minute. They are a secret group of high-placed and wealthy individuals. They focus on government, trade, and espionage. So, they have the initiation. With the initiation, you unlock that by sending an envoy to a city-state. When you get that, you get +1 economic policy slot, which is really nice. I mean, that is early in the game. In the Ancient Era, getting an extra economic slot is really nice. And I think the drawback is just waiting for solid cards to play. Like, it does take a few civics before you get nice policies, but this is going to be pretty good, especially as you move through the civic tree. Having an extra economic slot the whole game is really powerful. Each trade route sent to a city-state awards one envoy there. Okay, so let's think about this. Usually I don't send too many trade routes to city-states. If I do, I mean, if Kumasi's in the game, this would be like really nice with their boost because they give you culture from sending trade routes to city-states. So that is one case where this would be really good. But usually I only have like 2 or 3 trade routes sent to city-states. So, 2 or 3 envoys extra throughout a game. Not too incredible. With a space game, you want to be sending trade routes to your allies. So this wouldn't really come into play. I guess this would more be culture. But then if you think about it, culture, you get the tourism boost by sending trade routes to all the different civs. And so you basically are restricted to using your trade routes for actual players and not city-states. So I can't really think of a time when this would really be powerful. It's nice, but I don't think that's really useful from what I can tell. Unlocked in, so then the ritual is a tier 2. Unlocked in the medieval era, it allows you to construct a gilded vault building, a powerful replacement of the bank. Now, the one question I had with these is, after the first tier, you unlock the others by entering an era. I assume that means the game era, because an individual player can enter a new era by researching a tech or a civic earlier than others. It would be nice if you got these then, when you enter the medieval era or the industrial era, because by the industrial era, you're probably ahead of the AI. So it is a little bit limiting. Like with the science game, the industrial era, well, in any game, it basically starts around turn 165. So in a culture game, I would be trying to wrap the game up pretty quickly after that. So the indoctrination, the tier 3 and tier 4 wouldn't be really impactful, because the game would have just entered the industrial era as I'm finishing it. But if you can get this when you enter the industrial era, then that could be pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But the ritual. So that was my question about the eras. But I think it sounds like it's just when the game enters the era, which is a little bit unfortunate. So they have the Gilded Vault building, a powerful replacement of the bank. That sounds pretty cool. This one, there's another screenshot or another clip coming up where it shows this building gives your commercial hub culture adjacency. So from gold. So if you have like a +5 adjacency commercial hub, then you get 5 culture when you get this building. So that is pretty nice. If you have a bunch of commercial hubs, you could really ramp up your culture. Like imagine just doing a bunch of theater squares and commercial hubs. That seems like it would be a pretty good combination with this secret society. You could get a lot of gold, a lot of culture, do a lot of cool stuff. So then this one is unlocked in the industrial era, and you get +1 wildcard slot, +2 spy capacity. Your cities gain +4 loyalty per turn, and +1 amenity when your spy is in their territory. So the wildcard slot is nice. That's a big boost. I like that. +2 spy capacity. That's pretty good too, I think. Cities gain +4. So the loyalty and the amenities, I don't know. I can't see how that's going to be a big deal. But we will see. But yeah, I do kind of like this. This one looks pretty good to me. I look forward to maybe like France with Catherine Medici. It seems like this one would be kind of tailor-made for her, for the Magnificence Catherine.
Oh God. Oh God. Joining their ranks gives access to the Gilded Vault. This new building has all the
Yeah,
benefits
so
of
here we've got the culture and the commercial hub.
bank, but also provides your commercial hub's gold adjacency bonus as culture and grants an additional trade route for cities with a harbor.
The Hermetic Order values alchemy and occult
Grants an
science.
additional trade route for cities with a harbor. That is that's interesting. Yeah, so that you could get extra trade. So it looks like you could have a commercial hub, and yeah, I think that is pretty good.
above all else.
That is a good boost.
Their success comes from theories and inventions that other societies dismiss as
Okay, so the Hermetic Order. This is like the science-focused secret society. They are unlocked by discovering a natural wonder, like I discussed before. I think the other one, the Owls of Minerva, were unlocked by sending an envoy. So this one's a natural wonder. They give you the ley line resource, and it provides district adjacency right off the bat, which is pretty cool. These things look pretty nice. I think, so it's a standard adjacency bonus to all specialty districts. I think that's a +2. It depends how many. The thing is, like, we don't know how good this is going to be till we know how many of these resources spawn. But it does look pretty nice. Ritual, unlocked in the medieval era, allows you to construct the alchemical society building, a powerful replacement of the university. Yeah, that is, this university looks pretty interesting. Let's, I'll just go over the boosts here and then we'll see in the video. It gives you gold from campus adjacency. So that's cool. It gives you +1 engineer point, +1 merchant point, and it looks like it gives you 2 extra production. I think those are nice. Like these universities are going to be really nice. It's always good to be generating engineer points early on, so you could rush your universities, build these things, the alchemical society, and then start. If you get like 10 universities going, I mean, you'd be generating 10 engineer points. You could get a lot of engineers, and then you could get those engineers that give you production toward wonders, and then this could allow you to get the wonders that you need for like a good science game, like Kilwa, Forbidden City, maybe Pyramids, although it'd probably be a bit late for Pyramids. Oxford, Ruhr Valley, stuff like that. Always good to have engineers. I like engineers, I just don't like building industrial zones, so this is a way to get those engineers without having to build too many industrial zones. And you can get them early too here, fairly early. Merchant points, same thing. It's going to be great to get merchants, even focusing on science. Let's see, indoctrination, extra yields for Lee line resources based on the type of great people recruitment. So great persons earned, for every great person earned, ley lines receive +1 yield equal to that great person's district type. Great admirals and great generals earn +1 science. Wow, so this is pretty good. I mean, this is, again, it depends how many of these ley lines there are, but if you have like 10 of these in your empire and you get a great scientist, that's like 10 science empire-wide. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. And then if you get like, it just multiplies as you get more great people. So that looks pretty good. And then again, it kind of synergizes with the alchemical society, which gives you the great people points.
mere fairy tales.
Admirals and generals, I don't know what that really means. They're in +1 science. Yeah,
Such as
I'm not sure how that.
new map resource only they can see, which gives standard adjacency bonuses to all special.
Okay, so only they can see it. That's cool. And look at this tile. So a 3, 3, 7, 1, 2. Wow, that is 16 yields. Look at that science. That is pretty cool. So in this example, they're at turn 152. They're generating 150 science right now in this game. And to have a 7 science tile, when you're only generating 150 science. That's pretty awesome. Now let's look around here and see if we see any others. I don't see anything else in view. I mean, this is Yosemite. But if you could get some of these in the empire, in your empire, like 10, that'd be really powerful. Even 5 is probably pretty decent.
Specialty districts, and can even grant bonus yields whenever a great person is earned. Members of the society can build the Alchemical Society, a university replacement building that has all of the base university effects. But it also provides...
Yeah, okay, so this is pretty cool. Yeah, the 2 production, the engineer points, the merchant points, in addition to the regular scientist point and the science. I assume that science is just what the normal university would have too. It seems really high, but maybe they boosted that with some city-states and Isaac Newton or something like that. So...
merchant points, great engineer points, increased production, and gold, perhaps from some lead lying around somewhere.
The Void Singers follow a dark
The
religion.
Void Singers. Okay. These guys, from my first glimpse, I think these are the most powerful. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Especially with a faith-based approach. Anytime, I think these are probably the choice to go with, even if you're doing a faith-based science game. I think this ritual boost is really incredible. So you unlock these by discovering a tribal village. So that's pretty early. They allow you to construct the Old God Obelisk building, a powerful replacement of the monument. And this building is actually pretty awesome. So you get the 2 culture, like the monument, and then you get 4 faith. And this could come very early. I mean, think about how early you get a tribal village. It could be within the first, 20 turns, most likely. So you could if you could get a few of these up. Imagine, like in the ancient era, having 3 cities with 3 of these monuments. That's 6 culture, like the normal monuments would be. That's 12 faith, and then they each give you a great work slot too. So if you can start generating, you could maybe run the policy card for great writer points, even before you have theater squares, and then get an early great writer or 2 and slot those in, and you're generating a lot of culture at that point too. So lots of faith, lots of culture potential from that. I think that's a really awesome building. And then again, it can come very early in the game. The ritual promotion. So it's unlocked in the medieval era. Cities earn gold, science, and culture per turn equal to 20% of their faith per turn rate. I think this is really amazing. So this would be my faith-based science approach. I would build holy sites in all cities, then campuses, and then I would be generating a lot of faith, and 20%, I would get a 20% boost to my science and my culture and my gold, which is incredible. And with Ethiopia, it's even better because they get a 15%. They get this except 15% for science and culture. So you can get the 35% boost. 35% of your faith becomes science and culture when you're playing as them, which is really amazing. I think even for a science game, this is probably anything to do with a lot of faith. I think you gotta go with this one because it's really powerful. And then culture, yeah, if you're doing the faith-based culture approach, I think this is the way to go. Indoctrination, unlocked in the industrial era, unlocks the cultist unit. This unit is purchased with faith and uses charges to reduce loyalty in foreign cities and generate relics of the void. Okay, so again, this would come maybe a bit late. It could come around turn 165, which is, usually when I'm trying to wrap up a science or a culture game. But they do look pretty cool. So you can maybe grab extra cities with the loyalty. You can grab relics. So this could help you wrap up a culture game. And then let's see. So purchase with faith. Yeah. And then you have the master plan. Atomic Era unlocks Dark Summoning, a city project that provides lots of faith while active, and upon completion raises the amount of loyalty damage done by cultists. It might be a little late, that's the only thing, but it does sound powerful.
Of ancient gods and sow chaos to control adversaries.
So this is like the religion.
Joining them unlocks the
secret
old
society.
god obelisk, which replaces the
That looks pretty cool. And this looks awesome. I think this is Ethiopia. I like these buildings.
monument. Has all of the monument's base effects and provides additional.
Yeah, so here it is, the old god obelisk. Yeah, you've got culture, like the monument, you've got the faith, and then the great work slot.
Faith and great work slots. The Void Singers also have a unique unit, the Cultist. Purchased with faith, cultists can spend a
So there's
charge
minus
to
10. It looks like it's minus 10
follow
loyalty
an
per
enemy
charge.
cities, reducing
At least,
the target city's
I'm assuming before the master plan promotion. So yeah, and then generating relics. I don't know exactly how the mechanics of the relic generation work,
by calling its citizens
but
to
that
madness.
looks pretty
The
good.
Sanguine Pact is a militaristic regime known for
Okay, and then finally you have the Sanguine Pack,
sapping
and they don't give you a good screenshot of their bonuses, so I just kind of took what he said and wrote it down.
of their
We'll
will
go
to
over
fight,
it.
shunning the sunlight and absorbing nutrients through the blood of their. And these are vampires. Yeah, they're definitely vampires. Joining the pact unlocks the unique vampire unit, which gains combat strength when adjacent units perish. Instead
Wow.
of dying, vampires retreat to safety with 1 HP and can be healed back to full with some good pillaging. Vampire castles can be placed in any empty tile in your territory or in neutral
That's cool.
territory.
Wow.
Grant defensive bonuses
Really cool looking improvement, and then the yields on this are awesome.
and extra yields, and in later eras allow you to teleport units between them.
Wow, teleporting.
There you have it.
Okay, so let's go over the vampires a little bit, or the Sanguine Pack. So it unlocks the vampire, and the vampire. He said the vampire gains combat strength when adjacent units are killed. I assume that means enemy adjacent units. I don't know. Does that mean also friendly units? I don't know. They can't die, so their health only goes down to 1. And then they heal by pillaging. So again, I don't know how strong these guys are. It might really vary depending on what units, depending on if units were killed next to them. And then you heal only by pillaging. It looks pretty good. I think there's a lot more to be known about these. They can build a vampire castle. So you get extra yields in your home territory, and then you get a defensive bonus in neutral territory, and then in later eras you can teleport between the castles. So that's really cool. I think the teleportation could be pretty good
And
there.
extra yields, and in later eras allow you to teleport units between them.
So there you have
Yeah, so I think the Sanguine Pack we don't know too much about, but they all look really good. I think all of these secret societies are pretty awesome. I think I would go with for just a traditional culture game, I think the Owls of Minerva would be the one to pick. For a traditional science game, I think it would have to be the Hermetic Order for sure. But then if you have a faith-based science or a faith-based culture game, I think you would probably want to go with the Void Singers. And then of course if you're doing a religious victory, you'd want to go with them as well for sure. Domination obviously would be the Sanguine Pack. But I think my pick so far, I think my favorite is the Void Singers. I've been doing a lot of stuff with faith lately, so I think those are probably the most powerful for that. All right, hope you enjoyed.